Tom here from Esports GG. I'm here with Monsoon of Complexity. Monsoon, you just stepped off the stage from your final group stage match. How would you evaluate the group stage overall for you guys?
Well, it was pretty good. We hit top 10 in every single group, but we're sitting at that 95 point threshold, which we're 50-50 on whether or not it's going to be enough. So worst case, we go losers bracket, which is more practice. So we still got a shot, which is good. But best case, winners bracket, because the losers bracket is actually really stacked this time. You know, teams like LG, a lot of NA teams are on the lower side. So we just got to wait for this next set and see how it goes, basically.
When you're in a wait-and-see situation, are you the kind of guy to just only check at the end, or are you going to be going back to the hotel and, you know, watching the games religiously?
Yeah, I love to watch the games regardless, because regardless of scores, you know, see where zones are going, see how teams play, stuff like that, see what the team comp shakeups are. So, yeah, we'll be watching every game still. And like I said, even if we go into losers bracket, still not over. So, yeah, pretty good.
I think when we think of Monsoon in LGS Year 4, the next word that comes to mind is definitely the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Can you explain what it is you like so much about that weapon?
Yeah, so the first 4 years of Apex, I really liked the Peacekeeper because its ability to equalize a fight or do a lot of damage instantly. And so Sentinel, especially with our drop spots, Command Center in particular, we get a lot of shield cells. And now that we're playing Rampart, it does even more damage. So the fact that I can, you know, 158 or even potentially knock somebody off of a headshot, that's the damage that you need to be able to feel like 95% confident on like wiping the fight. And I've been able to do that. I've been able to provide the openings. You know, it's pretty risky because if I miss a shot, then there's no damage. With the Sentinel, if I do hit a shot, then I can instantly follow up because I'm the front line. And that allows me to potentially gain more control, do more damage, create more momentum for the team. And that's why I really like the Sentinel right now. Totally.
We've definitely seen more people using the Sentinel, I think, in like recent events. We spoke to John Larson.
Yep.
And he was saying that they were considering making some changes to the gold sniper optic, having just watched you using it in a set of matches.
Yeah.
What does it feel like when a decision that you make seems to affect like the wider game as a whole? Do you feel like you're really making an impact on the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to have any sort of influence on the meta or what people think, you know? But ultimately, I'd understand if they made a change to it. You know, it's busted, right? And so, yeah, it's cool and an honor and a privilege to be in this position in the first place, but to be able to influence the game like that, that's cool as fuck, especially over the course of 5 years, you know? I'm with it. Yeah.
You mentioned 5 years. You've been competing in Apex for, you know, a really, really long time, right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You're one of the very few sort of like OG M&K players. How difficult has it been, and what have you been doing to really keep up as the game has evolved and changed over all these years? How have you managed to stay like amongst the top?
On a mechanical level, I'm pretty solid, you know, but when it comes down to, especially as a frontline fragger, being able to keep up with all these roller players that are just insanely talented, I think the only thing that separates me is my knowledge of the game and the confidence going into it with that knowledge, you know? So I can put my team into really good spots 80% of the time. Like, we're definitely top 3 in average placement for the entire event already. We were top 3, top 5 in 4 out of 6 games this last set, but you know, the small things about kills is what like differentiates like a top 5 finish or like a 10th place, which is what we get. So it's really just grinding the macro, finding the zones, you know, and kind of understanding the push and pull, the flow of the game. So it's not so much that I'm just insane at shooting, it's just that put ourselves in good positions and works out at least half the time. So
I think before the Pro League split started this year, I think it's fair to say you guys were maybe getting a little bit of a tough rap as a team. You know, I saw tier lists with you guys in D tier, right? And you're now sat at the LGS Split 1 playoffs when there are some big names not here, right? Because North America is so competitive.
Totally, yeah.
Why do you think people were so skeptical about your chances as a team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, realistically, it's understandable. Kimchi was a coach for 2 years and then coming into it, and then all of a sudden we have to pick up a third teammate with less than 2 weeks before the Pro League starts. And of course, people don't necessarily have the time to invest the thought to figure out what exactly is going wrong with the team, you know? And since I have been pretty good at macro, like we've been at a baseline of points, which is just qualifying ultimately, just based off of positions and zones alone. Us qualifying is a good basically showing of the fact that people truly don't know, right? Like it's a BR, it's Apex, a lot of variables, it's super difficult. Like everybody's good enough to make it work and make it happen, and it just comes down to like how you feel waking up that day and the zones and other teams and stuff. So yeah,
Did you use that as motivation as a team? Did you talk about that? Did you want to prove people wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with Lou coming onto the team, the whole roster shakeup. We definitely, we wanted to prove to ourselves, especially, that we could do it, because, we've just seen so many lands go on now. So many people hold trophies. So many people make grands. And I haven't been in a grand since Poland of 2019. So it's been a long time. We have the potential and can actually do it. But on top of that, I wanted to prove to everybody else as well that we could continue to do it and have fun, especially. That was the big thing. So definitely fueled the fire a bit. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to best enable our strong attributes of it, for sure. So yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned having fun. I think that's one thing that definitely comes across watching you guys play is how well the three of you get on. Obviously, you said you've been on a team with Kimchi for 2 years, even though he was the coach.
Yeah.
You've obviously got a long history competing with Lou. How much of a benefit is it to play with people that you get on with so well? And do you think that is a major factor as to why you guys were able to prove people wrong?
Totally. I think there's nuances to the success of a team, right? There's a lot of different facets that influence the team's success. I think team culture is a really big thing. You have to like the people you're playing with. You have to trust them, especially. And it's easy to take criticism and give criticism when you know that at the end of the day, like, you guys are happy to be on a team together. Whereas sometimes if you're not necessarily about the team dynamic or the friendships within it, it can really drive a wedge into how you approach getting better and how you think about your team overall. So I think that's definitely something that enables us the most, is our team culture.
I think we see some players, they're very tense during matches. You see some heated arguments. Those clips always go viral all over Twitter.
Yeah.
You obviously have a much more relaxed approach. How do you think your personal philosophy about how you live your life really helps your Apex performances?
Yeah. Well, it's been a journey. I feel like I've personally experienced like 4 months of each mindset of like wanting to quit, of hating the game, of hating my teammates at times, hating myself. So all that experience kind of helps me build the tool to like navigate how to continue, because it's just been so long. For me to have growth as an individual, as a person, I need to be enjoying what I do. I'm super stubborn in the sense that I just like don't want to do anything I don't want to do. So in order to like sustain and to continue growing all this time, it's like I really need to center the perspective around enjoying the game, essentially. And because that works for me, it's definitely been a big part in being able to come back after not qualifying for a year and a half, and missing so much LAN experience as an IGL, and being able to qual with like 4 different rosters at this point. I think it's been good. I think the philosophy and how I'm going about it has been a huge part in why I'm still here today, to be honest. So, yeah.
And stepping away from the event for a second, we know that you're a guy, you love your food, you love your cooking, you love all of that.
Yeah.
There's obviously going to be lots of people pulling up to watch you guys in the bracket stage and then hopefully in grand finals. And maybe you're looking for something to grab after the games. You got any good food recommendations in LA? What have you been trying out?
Oh, man. I haven't spent too much time in downtown. We just got done eating at a KBBQ place that was super good. But then we got a gun pulled on us and we had to run. That was great.
Okay, maybe
but that
not.
place is good.
Yeah, food good.
That part of the city is a little sketch, though. So that's the only spot that I know in this area that's pretty good. T.G.I, KBBQ is really good.
Okay.
They're not there. They're in jail now, so they won't be there again.
Outside of your cooking, we see, how else do you spend your time outside of games? What is the non-Apex Monsoon up to?
Yeah, I really like staying on top of chores, dinner, cleaning up, hanging out with my lovely girlfriend. The time we do get, we like to explore. I just moved to California from Texas I lived in Texas for like 4 or 5 years. And the big thing about California is the entire environment's different, right? There's a lot of shit to do. So sometimes we'll go out to the beach and forage like sea urchin and mussels and go fishing, or sometimes we'll go to the pier and go crabbing, or we'll hit up a new park or a garden, stuff like that. I think that does a good job at balancing my life, because it's really easy to obsess over Apex, and it's really easy to like dig yourself a hole into that obsession, So anything that I can do outside, but mostly with my girlfriend, because she's lovely to be around, Do
you think that finding that balance helps, you perform better in games? Would you give advice to players maybe that are like trying to make that next step? Should they be putting like, 10, 12-hour sessions in, or is that balance more important?
Yeah, balance is definitely important at a point. I think it's more important for the people that have established themselves and have the experience difference. But if you're trying to break through, unless you just have like insane raw talent and find someone to tell you where to go, it's kind of difficult because there's been so many games of Apex, so many zones, so many positions, team comps, so many tournaments and stuff. And it's going to be a little difficult to catch back up. Same with any esport, you know, but it's definitely possible. But ultimately, how fast you grow is dependent on how much you're enjoying it. So if you are like miserable spending 12, 14, 16 hours a day, then the quality of work is going to go down a lot. And the quality of work is super important, right? So it's up to you, depending on how you feel, how you look at it, your relationship with the game and everything else too. But ultimately, balance is going to be sustainable and longevity is super important, especially in something like a BR, for sure.
And then finally, I wanted to ask, obviously, as we're talking to you, we're waiting to find out exactly what your schedule tomorrow looks like. We're waiting to see which bracket you guys make it into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned you've not played in a grand final since Poland.
Yeah.
What will that mean if you are able to qualify and get there? What will that mean to you?
Oh my gosh, everything. It's the biggest bummer to watch your best friends of the past 5 years, you know, compete. But also at the same time, it's so sick, you know. Yeah. Everybody that makes it to this event deserves to be in grand finals. And then at the end of the day, it's you know, flip of a coin. How you do it, how you go. But for me personally, like that's all I want. I just want to play on that grand final stage next to my people in pinnacle Apex. Like I just want to play beautiful Apex, you know? And beautiful Apex is the most fun Apex too. I want it for my teammates, I want it for us, I want it for Complexity, everybody that's supported us from the start. Every waking second the past month has essentially been dedicated to trying to secure, you know, that point. So yeah, a lot.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I wish you all the best. I look forward to hopefully seeing you make that grand finals on Sunday. Best of luck to you and your teammates.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. For more coverage of the ALGS, follow our Twitter and visit esports.gg.